Hello folks, how are you? I hope you're all keeping well this Sunday afternoon. A perfect day for football here in the athletic grounds, and you're all very welcome to the Armagh TV live coverage of this replay of the semi-final of the TMET Intermediate Championship between nOg, Portadown and St Pauls of Lurgan. Fáilte go Páirc Lucas Ardwatha don Clicka idir Manach Shaw Chríomh Ardwatha idir Niamh Pole Lurgan agus nOg Portadown. And we hope that this is going to be an excellent game. Replay, of course. The teams couldn't be separated last Friday night. 11 points each between a last-minute point from Andy Murnan secured a draw for St Paul's. And we'll just start by taking you through the team news, folks. Beginning with St Paul's Lurgan. Number 1, the goalkeeper, Kieran Toman. Number 2, Dara McCluskey. Number 3, Dara Toll, as the referee gets ready to throw the ball in. Number 4, Ryan McCaughey. Number 5, Padder Nash. 6, Kieran Nash. 7, Chris Lavery. 8, Phelan O'Neill. 9, Charlie Hart. 10, Ryan. Number 10 on the St Paul's team does not start, and in his place will start Conor Haughey. Number 11, Rory Crilly, does not start, and in his place will be starting number 23, Niall McPartland. Number 12, Michael Shank starts. Number 13 is Darren Fox. Number 14, Ryan Gilmore. Number 15, Reece Marshall, does not start, and in his place number 28, Andrew Byrne, the point scoring hero in the dying minutes of the game last week. He starts at top of the right for St Paul's, and St Paul's have had most of the game in the early stages, and that's a decent effort dropped in towards Andrew Neeson. Neeson has dealt effectively with that as nOg attack from deep here in the athletic grounds, and that ball has gone short, and it looks like Darren Fox, and it's number 20. Oh, it's just hit the post. Hit the post there. Niall McPartland almost made the perfect, and that looks like it's a high challenge there. A high challenge with, I think, on Andrew Murnan, and that'll certainly be a free kick. It's a free kick in a very scoreable position to St Paul's, and I suspect that the referee will want to have a word with the offending player there from nOg. A very high challenge, number 4, Darren McKee. And he'll certainly, yes, unsurprisingly, Darren McKee's entered the referee's notebook after only a minute and 30 seconds. It's a very, very early part of the game for a cornerback to be picking up a yellow card, but certainly a most merited one given what was certainly a rough challenge on Andrew Murnan. And now an opportunity for St Paul's here. Free kick about 13 metres from the goal. Slightly difficult angle, but you expected. No, but that's a bad miss. A bad miss for the St Paul's. Really, there was something of an angle opposing him, but really 13 metres out, you would have expected the St Paul's man to score that. And the teams remain scoreless here in the athletic ground. So just go through the nOg team. Number 1 kicking out the ball now is Andrew Neeson. Number 2, Pierce McDonald. Number 3, Chris McDonald. 4, Dara McKee. 5, Damien McDonald. 6, Tony Marley. 7, Conor McCormick, as that ball is pumped down in the direction of Paul Carville. He's laid it off there to Cusick. Cusick's played it out to Jamie McAleenan. McAleenan's had a pop, and that looks like it's going to go wide. Yes, it's gone fairly well wide. Number 7 for nOg is Conor McCormick. Number 8, Barry McDonald. Number 9, Paul McCann. 10, Gavin Cusick does not start. In fact, I name-checked him already, erroneously so. But number 30, Shea Skelton, starts for nOg. 11, Brian Mallon. 12, Johnny McGurgan. 13, the captain, Paul Carville. 14, Mark Davidson, and 15, Jamie McAleenan. So you know the teams, folks, and we hope that you all enjoy the coverage of the Armagh TV coverage of this replay. The ball pumped down towards Paul Carville, close to goal. Carville's got inside his man. This is very, very dangerous. Possibly a foul, but Carville still headed up. And now the opportunity. What a great save from Conor McCormick. Kieran Toman was out there with the feet. He was out. He made the angle very difficult for the nOg man, and that was a great save. But nOg looked to build the ball, pumped in towards Brian Mallon. Mallon can't get a hold of it, and St Paul's will emerge from defence. A drama here in the early stages. A fine goal chance. Really both teams have had opportunities to score here. In the early stages, is number 23, Niall McPartland, heads down the stand side of the goal. stands out of the pitch rather. That's a poor ball, very poor ball, cut out effectively by Barry McDonald. And nOg used to look to build. Very exciting opening 4 minutes here in the TMET Armagh Intermediate Championship, but no scores as yet. But perhaps Mark Davidson will be able to do something about that. He's had an effort and that's drifted. No, in fact, at 45. The umpire signalled a 45, and this will be an opportunity for nOg to break the deadlock. Don't forget, folks, that we're very thankful for you for donating your £1 to Armagh TV. Delighted to have you along with you, and please feel free to interact with the show here on Armagh TV tonight, or well, this afternoon I probably should say. On Twitter we're at Armagh_GEA. You can get your comments on the Armagh-GEA Facebook page, and www.armagh-gaa.net/Armagh TV. The one word of warning, folks: remember not to close your browser, otherwise you'll have to start a new. You have to start a new payment page, but don't close your browser. Keep the browser going, and sit back and enjoy the action here from the athletic ground. Just nOg trying to go for the point here. That's Paul Carroll with the effort, and that's drifted wide. That's drifted wide. So still all square, folks. Nobody's managed to break the deadlock as yet. And that ball's kicked out by Kieran Toman, the St Pauls, and that's caught. It was McDonald there. Looked like he hacked at that with the boot a little bit, but no foul was given. Tony Martin, Mark Davidson there. Mark Davidson out around the middle of the field, and that looks like it's Paul Carroll on the ball. And that's another freebie up. A fairly difficult opportunity for nOg in the early stages here, but. And Rory Cunningham, he's looking at some updates on the game. Well, this stage, Rory, it's still scoreless, but very, very, very exciting game for a scoreless in the opening 6 minutes. As nOg looks like it'll be Brian Wallin perhaps taking this long-range free kick as St Pauls player gets a bit of supported down player gets a bit of attention in the middle of the field. Doesn't seem to be an overly concerning injury. Of course, very, very exciting game between these two teams last Friday night. 11 points all. Some superb score taking, particularly in the second quarter, in the latter stages of the first half. We had a beautiful passage of play for about 10 minutes when each team was outdoing each other with the quality of the score taking. It petered out. The game wasn't quite as high a quality in the second half, but very tight game as that ball's dropped down in and about the house. And now we have the number 12 for nOg. That's Johnny McGurgan. And McGurgan's kicking over the bar. We have our opening score here. Opening score here at the athletic grounds. 7 minutes in, and it's nOg a point, St Pauls no score. Fine point there from Johnny McGurgan. As St Paul's goalkeeper Kieran Toman kicks the ball out. It's a fine strike right out to midfield, and that's been picked up by his teammates. The St Paul's here, that's Charlie Hart. Charlie Hart bursting forward. He's laid the ball back out here to Niall McPartland. But Partland's played a poor enough ball, if truth be told. Poor enough ball, and that's been dealt with there. But strong tackling on number 4, Darren McKee. And St Paul's looked at nOg. They're certainly making St Paul's. And that's an excellent block, a really excellent block from Pather Nash there. Nash has kicked the ball in towards the middle. I think that's Andrew Mornan. Yes, Andrew Mornan has done well to collect it. Mornan with the effort, and that's drifted wide, but it's been fisted. No, it's a goal! And we have a goal here in the athletic grounds. I thought that Andrew Mornan shot it gone wide. I thought it gone wide, but in fact no. It was Ryan Gilmore, I think. Ryan Gilmore got the palm to it.
Gilmore. Hit the back of the net. Nash Gilmore.
And in fact, apologies, folks. It looks like it's been offered erroneously called a goal there. I think it's actually a point that Andrew Mornan's point had drifted over the bar. So apologies for that. We had certainly somebody came along and palmed it towards the net. It must have hit it in the side net and rolled into the back of the net. But certainly it's a point here. as the referee takes consultation from his umpire. Yeah. And it looks like yes, that's a point. That's a point for St Pauls now. A little overexcited there. Apologies for any St Paul's supporters who thought that they'd got an early goal here in the athletic grounds, but they'll have to content themselves with a minor score at this stage. Perhaps they often the cry from supporters often in the athletic grounds to the referees to go to Specsavers. I think maybe I'll have to pay a similar visit after that in this hap, but we'll continue on regardless. And it's St Paul's free with about 9 minutes played here in the athletic grounds. With a St Paul's free kick over towards the terrace side of the pitch. Pumped in towards the square. Those are tactics that paid dividends, and Andrew Murren's blocked that one, knocked that one down, and it's Darren Fox. Darren Fox evaded any would-be challengers there, and an excellent point for St Paul's. And certainly the tactics in the early stages here for St Paul's very much seem to be to pump the ball into Andrew Murren, and it's paying dividends thus far. 10 minutes gone in the athletic grounds, and it's St Paul's 2 points, Tirnoga point. Andrew Neeson kicks the ball out. And that's a fantastic catch. Wonderful stuff there from Phelim O'Neill. Phelim, he kicked 3 points from play, high quality points last week. But he's been after a wonderful catch. He's then been pinged for over carrying. Shea Skelton now looks to attack for nOg. That ball is knocked in towards, I think it was Brian Mallon. Brian Mallon playing close to the St Paul's goal in the early stages here. A poor quality clearance from St Paul's, and that allows the opportunity for nOg to attack. Paul Carr with the ball bounced off him there, and St Paul's are able to escape here. And now they're up in the nOg. Perhaps they committed too many players to that attack, because they're now countering as Niall McPartland. Niall McPartland takes on the nOg defender. McPartland, short ball, played to Darren Fox. Fox got the point a minute ago. He'll go for another. No, it's well blocked by Damien McDonald. Damien McDonald had certainly the Fox wasn't able to evade the challenge of Damien McDonald there, as nOg looked to build over on the terrace side of the goal, or terrace side of the pitch rather. And Brian Mallon got through a astounding amount of work in the last game, and nOg want to take that quickly, but I think it's gone as far as Shea Skelton, but he'll be asked to play the ball backwards, and it'll be I think the referee wants to take the name of Phelim O'Neill. Phelim, who produced that absolutely fantastic point, or a fantastic catch rather, and has scored the 3 points on Friday night. Colin McLean, he's watching the Armagh Championship. He's way back over to university in Leeds, and he's still able to watch us here on Armagh TV, and we're very grateful to have you along, Colin. And don't be afraid, folks, to tell us where you're watching the match from, and what's your views on the game on Twitter at Armagh_GA, Facebook page as well, as that's Mark Davidson over on the far side, and nOg have been awarded the free. That'll be about 15 or so metres from the end line over towards the sideline. So it's certainly a difficult kick for whoever takes this one on, and I don't think that Mark Davis is going to have a go at that himself, and perhaps unsurprisingly looks like the familiar stride of Brian Mallon is going to have walking over towards this one and going to have a go at the post, I think, from here. Very tight here in the early stages here, the TMET Armagh Intermediate Championship semi-final replay. 13 minutes played, nOg 1 point, St Paul's 2 points. And Mallon with the kick. And that's a decent effort, and that's gone over the bar. Excellent score from Brian Mallon. Angle was quite prohibitive, but he wasn't afraid to take on the effort, and that was a very competently converted free kick there. So 2 points at this stage. Johnny McGurgan with the first point for nOg. Brian Mallon's got the second. In between those were points for St Paul's from Murren and Fox. So all square here in the athletic grounds. Almost 14 minutes played as the ball's kicked out, and nOg get a hold of it here again. And that's burrowing forward. There's Johnny McGurgan. I'm surprised I'm surprised that he's been awarded the free kick. Looked really like a textbook case of charging. Perhaps it was a foul beforehand, and that certainly looked like a foul. Yes, Brian Mallon causing a bit of trouble in there in the early stages here in the TMET Armagh Intermediate Championship. Brian Mallon was tripped, and that'll certainly be a free kick in a very scoreable area. And the referee may want to speak to I think it's number 6, Kieran Nash from St Pauls, who's gone back towards goal to mark Brian Mallon. But perhaps the referee's just going to think he's just going to maybe note that down in his book. And certainly there's too many more fouls like that, then I'm sure that perhaps a yellow card will be following. But wasn't by any means a dirty foul by any stretch of the imagination, but it certainly stopped Brian Mallon in full stride. And Paul Charvel is going to take on this free kick with 14 minutes played here on the athletic grounds. You'd expect a player of Carvel's quality to have absolutely no problem in kicking this over, and so it proves. And that's a fine score. And it's 3 points to 2 in favour of the men from Portadown. In favour of the runaway Intermediate League winners, of course, Tir and nOg. They've played 15 games in the Intermediate League this year. They won 13, two draws, unbeaten. Then, of course, ousted senior league opponents, Shane O'Neill's by 12 points to 1-8, only a point in it there in the first round of the championship. Then had 3 points to spare against the Grange and drew this game. So 18 games into the season, Tir and nOg haven't tasted defeat as yet, and it's certainly that it's not a cup that they'll be wanting to swallow here against St Pauls in the semi-final today. It's of course the interesting subtext to this match is the fact that Tir and nOg are flying high, as I just described. St Pauls endured a difficult season in Division 1. They finished bottom of that division. No shame, of course, playing against the what is a higher standard of opposition, but they've improved their league form improved significantly in the second half of the campaign. They weren't able to avoid the drop in the league, but of course were they to win today and go on to win the Intermediate Championship and to beat Madden in the final, they would retain their senior status, retain their senior league position rather, and be in the senior championship next year, and that certainly be foremost in their minds. And here's an excellent pass, and that's released St Paul's player. He's flying forward, looks like he's going to have the opportunity for the shot, and that drifted wide. Yes, that's drifted fairly well wide. That's drifted fairly well wide, so it'll be Tir and nOg kick out. So that's Mark Davison, and that looks like it's going over to Jamie McAleenan. And that's a wide ball. And this will be a kick out now from Kieran Tolman. Kieran Tolman kicks it out towards the midfield. And that's picked up by Chris Lavery, and he's released Charlie Hart. Opportunity here for St Pauls. And that looks like a 50 ball. Yes, that's Padder Nash with the effort there. Looks like it was blocked down, and the umpire signalled for a 50. And that'll be taken. It looks like Chris Lavery's going to have a go at this. Opportunity to equalise here, and it doesn't quite have the legs. Well struck, but Andrew Neeson, the Tir and nOg goalkeeper, the experienced goalkeeper, was able to field that with relative ease. And that's a free kick now to Tir and nOg. Ball spilt, but they've been able to probably look like a free there. Yes, look like a foul on David McDonald. Certainly wasn't a certainly wasn't a fair shoulder to shoulder. The shoulder was into the back, and Damien McDonald has been he's stricken now. He's lying on the ground, slightly injured, and it'll be a free kick to Sharon Road. Very tight affair here in the athletic grounds in the TMET Armagh Intermediate Championship semi-final. Don't forget, folks, let us know where you're watching the match from on Twitter at Armagh_GEA, or let us know the Armagh-GEA Facebook page as well. And that ball's kicked back by Barry McDonald, and Barry continues down the wing, and it's Damien McDonald, his brother. He'll go on. Damien's been fouled, and St Pauls have the free that they felt they should have had a couple of minutes ago, and that'll be brought forward by Dara Toll, the St Pauls full back. And that's Charlie Hart on the ball now for St Pauls and around midfield. And wasn't a great pass there. It looked like it had been spilt, but the referee seems to think that it's going to be a St Pauls. It's going to be a St Pauls free. Yes, free kick awarded to St Pauls, and it'll be Michael Shanks who takes that. Michael Shanks, fine ball there towards Niall McPartland, and that ball goes out. It'll be a 45-metre kick over towards the terrace side of the goal. This will be a particularly difficult effort, but Chris Lavery, he dropped one just short a couple of minutes ago. It looks like Chris is going to have a go at this again. Probably a more difficult kick this time around, but he'd hope perhaps to improve in his previous effort. A short kick. And that'll be cleared by nOg. And nOg emerge from defence here. Regained by St Pauls. And here's an opportunity. Oh, he's seen him miss kick that. And still there, Andrew Mornan on the ball. Morning's fisted it out, and it's got the full 40 against in the back of the net. And Ryan Gilmore had the original opportunity. He miskicked it, but the ball went to Morning. Morning recycled the ball out. He fisted it out to Ryan Gilmore. Gilmore reached high into the air to try and get the ball. He managed to do so, and he made no mistake. It was a simple enough opportunity, very, very close to goal. So it's a goal for St Pauls. It's St Pauls 1-2. nOg 3 points. And a great catch there from Phelim O'Neill. And there's an opportunity here in St Pauls. St Pauls look to build on their goal. And that ball's gone wide. And a very important score there in the course of this game. Low scoring first half thus far. That's only the sixth score of the game, 22 minutes in. But in a game, there was no goal scored last Friday night. No goal scored last Friday night. The first goal of these two encounters has come from Ryan Gilmore, and that's put St Pauls into a 2-point lead. Another fantastic catch there from Phelim O'Neill. He's having a great game so far, and that ball's into the goal scoring hero Ryan Gilmore. Gilmore at the field, and that ball's played. Looks like it's going to be Charlie Hart on the ball here. Yes, over towards the end line. Looks like he's bottled up by the nOg players, but he's doing quite well. He's done well there, Charlie. And it looks like it might have been a foul in the St Pauls, but no. And nOg look like they're going to be able to clear this. And nOg in their full back line here. And that's will be Pierce McDonald taking this ball out of defence. Fine solo run from Pierce McDonald, looking for a bit of assistance. He's found that in the form of Tony Marley. That's ball kicked in by Barry McDonald. Jamie McAleenan great tackle from Jamie McAleenan. Superb tackle there, holding up the St Pauls player, but St Pauls, the Lurgan men have been given the free. St Pauls are looking to be the side that will end the Portadown men's unbeaten record this season. Free kick now. We've played almost 24 minutes here in the athletic grounds on Armagh TV. Don't forget, of course, it's the first match of a double header. At 5 o'clock we have the junior championship semi-final between Armagh-gaa and Forkhill. We saw Clonmore won very, very comfortably on Friday evening. They beat Clevie seconds by 18 points to 5. And the winners of Armagh-gaa and Forkhill will have a difficult task in the final against what looked like a very well drilled Clonmore outfit. Injury at the minute, folks. You're not missing any of the action. Injury to the one of the nOg players. Don't forget to get the comments in on Twitter at Armagh_GEA and armagh-gaa on Facebook, on the Facebook page. Let us know where you're watching the match from. And it looks like the nOg player is up and about, and we'll be able to restart the match here in the athletic grounds. Played 25 minutes thus far. Ball kicked over crossfield, punt, not the most effective of pass by any stretch of the imagination. And Tony Marley, he's fisted the ball on, and nOg looked to perhaps grab a couple of scores to equalise, and that's number 12, Johnny McGurgan. McGurgan got a point earlier. I think he's been fouled now, yes. McGurgan brought to the ground, and that'll be a very, very scoreable free for nOg. Opportunity for them to get back within the minimum deficit. Match perhaps lacking a little bit of championship intensity thus far. So it's difficult for the teams to build themselves up again in a short space of time for a replay. Paul Carville, it's the opportunity here for nOg. You'd expect a player of Carville's ability to be tapping this over fairly easily, and he does so. And nOg relying really on frees at the moment. They haven't scored from Clay in the last 20 minutes. Johnny McGurgan got the only Portadown point from Clay, but Paul Carville's chipped in with a couple of frees. Brian Mallon pointed an excellent free himself, and that's nOg back within the minimum. It's nOg 4 points, St Pauls 1-2 here in this TMET Intermediate Championship semi-final replay. All booted down and broken around midfield, yes. Looked like it was a foul, yes, on Mark Davidson there. Mark Davidson, the nOg full forward, he's playing out around midfield, trying to attempt to garner more possession for the Portadown lads. And Paul Carville's come out, so he'd be at least 50 metres from goals here. Long way out, fairly central position. Certainly Carville will have the he'll have the ability to put this over. We've seen him do it in the past from all sorts of distances, but a difficult enough one. He struck it not perfectly. I think it'll drop short, but it's actually been dropped by the St Pauls player, but he gathered it the second time of asking, and St Pauls are able to emerge from defence here. Ball booted up towards midfield by St Pauls. So well done, Tony Marley there. It looked like really the St Pauls player had waited on that. Tony Marley certainly didn't need a second invitation. He fisted to it, but it only put it as far as the St Pauls player. And over there we'll have number 4, Ryan McCauley for, and he seems to have hacked it on as far as St Pauls comrades. The ball's tapped in there towards the goal, but well fielded in defence by nOg, but then been blocked down, and McPartland has an opportunity here, and Niall McPartland has kicked the ball over the bar for St Pauls. An excellent point from number 23, Niall McPartland. And that puts St Pauls 2 points clear again. St Pauls 1-3, nOg 4 points. Like Gerald Lahashaw, Imroher, Erlai, and 3 women, and Brescia. There'll be at least 3 minutes of extra time at the end of this first half here in the TMET Armagh Intermediate Championship as that ball's chipped in towards Pierce McDonald. He was put under severe pressure there by Phelim O'Neill. Phelim O'Neill knocked it out over the sideline, but nOg will retain possession, and this will be Mark Davidson, it looks like, to kick the It'll kick the sideline down right in front of the crowd here in the athletic grounds, and that's gone to Paul Carville. Carville again, 50 metres out. He's found Davidson once more. Davidson under a fair bit of pressure here from the St Pauls lads.
Well done. Don't touch him. Don't touch him.
And that's ball knocked down along the sides, and that'll be Paul McCann on it now. Paul McCann, he plays it across the goal, I think towards Brian Mallon there, and Mallon has got a hold of that. He's under severe pressure, but Brian Mallon's knocked it over, and that's a fine point. That's the first point from Clay for 22 minutes for nOg, so they'll be glad to have registered one that wasn't from a free, and the score is now 5 points to nOg and 1-3 to St Pauls. And I suppose as we were expecting, folks, it's a very, very tight game here in the athletic grounds. Unsurprisingly for replay, there was nothing that could separate the two sides after 60 minutes of championship football last Friday night, and there's not a whole pile separating them here in the replay today. And McPartland, who's played very well in the first half, but commentators cursed there. Tony Marley, who's also having a fine game, has robbed them of possession, and Tony Marley still comes forward, and that ball's to Shea Skelton. Skelton doesn't have a whole pile of pressure, but he's Marley again, and Marley's played it across the ball, and it's a goal! It's a goal, it's a full forward Ryan Gilmore got a goal for St Pauls, and full forward Mark Davidson has got the goal for nOg, and that goal is really all about Tony Marley. He picked the ball up and around the middle of the field. He ran forward. The possession was transferred on a couple of occasions, but it was still the number 6 Tony Marley heading towards the danger area. He showed great presence of mind, fisted it across to Mark Davidson, and that's a goal. That's a crucial goal as we head towards half time here in the athletic grounds. A crucial goal for nOg and Mark Davidson, and they now lead this TMET Intermediate Championship semi-final on the scoreline of 1-5 to St Pauls 1-3. And nOg looked to build on that. Shea Skelton again, he was involved in the lead up to the goal, and he's transferred to Johnny McGurgan. McGurgan towards the end line, looked like he was fouled. The referee agrees. The referee agrees, and this will be a free kick for nOg, and they now have the opportunity in a match that they were trailing only moments ago. They now have the chance, and there seems to be a little dissent perhaps from the St Pauls contingent, and that ball's been brought right into the centre of the goals, and this is the sort of free kick that I've no doubt Paul Carville would convert in his sleep. He's only 13 metres from the goals, dead centre of the pitch, and he has topped that over. And what a change in the complexion of this championship semi-final in the space of a minute or two at the end of the first half, with 31 minutes played in the athletic grounds. It's now 1-6 to nOg, it's 1-3 to St Pauls, and the Portadown men have taken control of this game. Certainly, they've scored the last 1-2 very late in the match, and again probably St Pauls even enough first half. St Pauls maybe had slightly the better of it, but nOg have finished the stronger. They finished the stronger, if you remember, with us on Armagh TV in the quarter final against the Grange. Finished strongly in the first half and started the second half in great style, and that was the win of the match. And Niall McPartland looks to get his St Pauls lads back into the game, and Darren Fox was well tackled there, and a rough challenge shipped there by nOg. Referee hasn't awarded free as yet, surprisingly so, and in fact it's St Pauls who get the benefit of the decision, and that was you give her too long. Darren Fox knocks that ball in towards the square to Murnan, and that's been knocked down. Here's the opportunity. Oh, and look like it by it's a penalty. We have a penalty here. What drama in the closing stages of the first half of this match. The ball is played across, I think it was towards Andrew Murnan. It was one of the midfielders, possibly Charlie Hart, who was brought down. He was pushed in the back. It certainly seemed like it was a foul, and the referee is correct in Shevlin was correct in awarding that decision, and now we have a chance to go in level at the break. And this was a game, it was very much slow to come to the boil, this match, but what excitement we have had in the last 5 or 10 minutes. And this looks like it's been Niall McPartland who's been centrally involved in everything good that St Pauls have done in the first half, and it looks like he's going to have the opportunity from 11 metres here with the penalty for St Pauls. It's McPartland versus Neeson, and McPartland's put it in the back of the net, and that's a goal. The penalty has been converted, and that's a goal. That's the second goal of the first half for St Pauls. Niall McPartland, he's got a point as well. He scored personally 1-1. More importantly, his team has scored 2-3, and that's in opposition to 1-6 from the nOg men. And it's all level here in the athletic grounds. We've played 3 minutes and 45 seconds of injury time. There can't be too much long as Brian Mullen knocks the ball forward, and that seems to be dealt with by the St Paul's men. There can't be too long left in the first half. Looks like we're going to be level at half time. The ball's been booted towards, and that's it. Yes, the referee says Shevlin has blown his final whistle of the first half, and it's all level here, folks. In the TMET Armagh Intermediate Championship semi-final, it's St Paul's 2-3, nOg 1-6. And both sets of supporters raucously applaud their sides. Really exciting last 5 or 10 minutes there. For both teams. St Paul's were ahead when Niall McParland put his side a couple of points ahead after 28 minutes, but then nOg struck with a Brian Mullen point, a Mark Davidson goal and a Paul Carville free. It looked like they were going to take a healthy 3-point lead in at the break, but in fact, as it turned out, there was still time for more drama from St Paul's. And they got the penalty goal. It looked like it was a merited penalty, and that has left the teams level here, folks. And delighted to have you along, of course, here on Armagh TV, because it's the first of a double header. With 5 o'clock we'll have Armagh-gaa versus Forkhill. And that's a game that we're looking forward to. And delighted to hear have along beside me here now in the commentary box over half time to benefit from his wisdom. Tommy Stevenson from the St Paul's club. Tommy, and I'm sure you're a worried man there with about 2 minutes played at injury time in that first half.
No, not at all. If you look at the stats here, we missed 5 easy chances there. That would put us 4 or 5 points up. Obviously, Carville missed that goal opportunity early on in the first 10 minutes. But I'm pretty happy enough there to win all score.
And how do you think the second half's going to go, Tommy?
Well, St Paul's been training very, very hard all year, so they've trained very, very hard. Some of our training's done in the last 10 minutes, really, really hard stuff. So St Paul's will start and finish the half really, really strong. But it's been a sloppy game. There's been a lot of stop-start stuff. And as I said, St Paul's have been wasteful at times, giving ball away, primary possession. So if we can improve on that and hold possession and get Phelim on the ball up into the forward line, I think we'll be okay. And
Phelim O'Neill's having a great game, isn't he?
Great lad, great player, great attitude to training. And if probably Paul Grimley's watching the last match and tonight, he's a great attitude. He flies home from England there. He works in England, so him and Charlie Hart. So yeah, good committed lad, good athlete.
And how's the mood in the St Paul's camp been since the end of the league campaign? It was a strange league campaign. Started very, very poorly for you, but certainly improved a lot in the second half of the season.
Yeah, it's a young team. That team's in transition there. Average age is probably 22 to 24, so it's a young team. It's good to get up and play with, as I say, the big guns. But they know what they have to do to get there again, if you like. A lot of the right conditioning, the right training, winter training over the winter months. Something that the young lads that need to maybe buy into what we're trying to do. But with regards to the game, like there's been some opportunities there for St Paul's, as likewise young Carville will put it down. But what St Paul's need to do is stop the runners, put it down. They've been trained that way all year. They're a running team, and we need to stop the half-backs and the midfielders coming through, because they're always looking for that man leaving Carville, that man leaving Mullen and popping inside. And before you know it, as you say, you're in trouble again, you know.
And do you foresee any changes in the second half, and any changes either in tactics or personnel for St Paul's?
Yeah, there's big Ryan Lawless to come on there. Great player. He was dropped from the last game. And who else is coming in there? Reece Marshall. Great young lad too. Again, he goes at players. Great attitude as well. So hopefully I'll bring in 2 young lads on as well.
So full of hope at the half time in this.
Yeah, well, if we could, as I say, just to recap on it, if we can stop some Portadown coming through, stop the runners coming through, get the tackling, obviously win that dirty ball, the breaking ball, and get that ball up in there early into Happy and Andy Murnan, I think we do damage, but we need to stop the runners because Portadown is very dangerous on the break.
That's great. Thanks very much to Tommy Stevens from the St Paul's Club for joining us here on Armagh TV. We're going to take a break here, but folks, don't forget to keep your browsers open, and we'll be back with the commentary for the second half. And of course, as the first of a double header, 5 p.m, we'll have Forkhill versus Armagh-gaa in the TMET Junior Championship semi-final. So thanks very much for joining us so far, folks, and we'll see you for the second half. Grabela Maigov.